we begin this morning with our Friday political panel, and joining us in studio, National's Simon Watts and Labor's Deborah Russell. Good morning.
Morning,
Ryan.
Good to see you both this morning. Lots to talk about today. We'll start with the IPCA. And Deborah, have you had anything to do with Costa? A bad guy, or just done some dumb things? What do you reckon?
I have a little bit through the firearms work a few years back.
Oh, yes.
And he seemed to be across all his stuff and knew his stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But the problem is he knew some stuff he probably should have let on, you know?
It does seem that there was something not so good recently. Hard to know what's going on. Look, there's a whole lot more to come out, I think. Not necessarily details, but there's still work going on in terms of the investigation. I'm really reluctant to have opinions on it until we just know some more of what's going on.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. Minister, what do you think?
Oh, I think it's been a pretty rubbish week, actually, to be honest. I was just thinking about the mood in Parliament on Wednesday, across the House, actually. Everyone was pretty like, wow, like this is unbelievable. And I think about those police officers that are out there who are busting their guts day in, day out on night shifts and have been let down by the top brass.
No, it's terrible.
And that's...
Does it show, because I think, whenever there's a scandal, we in the media have a go, the politicians come in and say, we'll fix it up. But really, you can have all the rules and policies you want. If people don't want to follow them or want to get around them, they can, can't they?
Yeah, I suppose you can try that. What worries me is, and Simon's right, it was really subdued in Parliament on Wednesday. All that work was done within police with Louise Nicholas, and she felt that progress had been made. I've certainly come across some fantastic police officers, and I think they do a great job.
All right.
So it's
disappointing.
It's sad.
Hey, why is this inmate? Why didn't we know about this inmate? Do you smell a scandal here, Deborah?
Yeah, seems very odd.
Why wouldn't they just tell us who it is?
Yeah, and also I think there's an issue of public safety there.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you agree with me. Minister, what do you think?
Look, I don't have any detail in regards to that.
Well, why not? I told you this would be coming on the show.
Well, you told me about 3 seconds ago, so with
did we?
respect.
It's
a matter for the Minister of Corrections, and I'm sure he'll be able to get you a ring. But
right.
Let's be fair, there's been a lot going on this week, and as I said, it's been a pretty challenging week for everyone.
Yeah, fair enough. Now, we'll talk about the COP, because you're both going, aren't you?
Yeah.
To Brazil, which is great for the planet. You both, presumably you're not walking. So that's nice for a start. But you're copping some heat already. You haven't even got there yet, Simon. And you're copping some heat. This is from Dr. Bill Ha, who's an international climate science and policy expert. He says that your climb down on methane emissions and agricultural emissions is dangerous and embarrassing.
Well, first and foremost, I'm not sure who that chap is, but we are walking the talk on climate change. We're on track in terms of our first target, our second target. We're both going to come in under that, and we've got a strong plan to deliver on that. We've made announcements around methane, absolutely, but we've now got a practical and realistic plan to hit those targets. So I'm pretty happy in terms of where we're at, and the key objective for us over there is to make sure that we strengthen those international relationships. There's major geopolitical stress at the moment around the world. We need to come together as countries.
Deborah, does he have a point? I mean, does it really matter how we get there so long as we're still getting there?
I'm worried that we actually aren't getting there. So Simon's right. We do need to really strengthen our international relationships. It is a difficult time, so geopolitically. But I disagree with him about the methane target. So that there's a whole lot of technical detail around it, which I've worked really hard to get my head around. If we don't get methane under control, it means the rest of the economy has to do more work. So there's a real problem with that. The other thing is, New Zealand depends upon a rules-based international order. We depend on all those relationships across the world, and everyone playing by the rules. If we don't do that, we've got trouble.
Yeah, but if we do what you say with the methane, then the farmers suffer, and when the farmers suffer, the economy suffers.
Well, in terms of farmers suffering, we've just seen a whole lot of storms come through. We've seen real devastation across the
That is a good
sector.
point.
Yeah.
What do you say to that?
Well, look, as a government, we've released a climate adaptation framework, which is exactly how we should be dealing with the impacts of climate change.
Because, Deborah, we won't stop it on our own. That's the problem. And you guys are going to COP. The world's big emitters aren't even there.
The risks for us are economic and political, and we lose our markets and things like that if we don't play by the rules as well. We also lose the capacity to get other people on board and get the world moving together.
The Regulatory Standards Bill passed its third reading in Parliament yesterday. Simon, you proud of that?
Well, it deals with a key issue in Parliament, which is around bureaucracy and regulation. That bill's gone through.
It just adds another layer of bureaucracy.
That is.
It literally does.
I'm saying what it says on the tin, and at the end of the day, we are where we are.
Does it feel a little bit like swallowing a little bit of a dead rat?
No, absolutely not. It's part of what we're doing. We want to focus on removing regulation and red tape and all of that compliance, and that's a good
this
thing.
is literally. This bill is literally another.
It adds another layer of regulation. And the other thing is that what it does is it says that the most important right of everything is property rights. Now, property rights are important, but there are a whole lot of other rights as well. And this bill just says, no, property rights, that's it.
To be fair to the minister, though, and to the government, it's only a set of principles. You can ignore them. They're not legally binding.
True. So when the New Zealand Bill of Rights came in, again, ministers can ignore the Bill of Rights, they can override it, but gradually over time it has started to be read into the case law. So it will have a long-term impact.
Is this on the same par as the Bill of Rights?
It has the same sort of legal standing in terms of that.
But it doesn't have the same constitutional standing,
It does actually, because it's introducing a whole new government entity that reviews the adequacy of the law. That's a constitutional thing. Fact is, though, when we're in government, we are going to repeal it. We are going to repeal it.
Okay, right. Hey, I was looking at the numbers, Minister, and you should perhaps take a bow and be proud of this. Tracking because the world's heading towards a higher carbon, the highest ever emissions, etc. We project, this is the global carbon budget for 2025, predicts 38.1 billion tonnes of fossil carbon dioxide emissions this year. That is a record high. China's emissions will go up. India's will go up 1.4%. The US will go up 1.9%. New Zealand is expected to come down 2.9% from 2024. So is that good news?
Well, I think it goes to the point. There's a lot of noise, particularly international noise on that. But I look at how we are tracking domestically here in New Zealand. And we're on track for our first budget. We're on track for our second budget. Actually, we're overshooting. So we're coming in higher than where we need to be.
And are our emissions coming down?
And our overall emissions profile in New Zealand has peaked and is now coming down. So there is a lot of
methane. But the other thing is, I'm going to say...
But that's the fact.
You wouldn't think that, would you?
But I sat and listened to the Minister in a select committee earlier this week, and we were worried about the third emissions budget, which we're on track to miss. And he says, oh, well, 3% over, 3% under, it's kind of neither here nor there.
That's 2035. Looking at, we're 2025 here.
It's about 3%. We've both been Minister of Stat. No, worked in that stats space. And, he said 3% over, 3%.
Right.
Plus or minus
now that you've mentioned you were Minister of Statistics, I'm officially bored. We need to
okay.
But thank you for coming. Oh, very quickly, the rates cap. You want to get one done. How's it going?
Very close. Looking forward to be able to say more on that before Christmas. Can't give any more detail at this stage, but I tell you what, I'll let you know.
Is that hold up though? Is the coalition partners?
No, there's no hold up. We've got a lot of. We're a very busy government, and you'll hear more for us.
By Christmas, you will announce a rates cap.
You will. Telling you here now, we'll hear more before Christmas.
Hear more's not the same as announcing.
No, we're going to hold you to that, Simon.
Is someone cutting your lunch? Is someone blocking it? Okay, let's not answer. Thanks.